having them in the league and seeing how they not only are they improving, but how all the academy teams have improved with them playing as well. Team Red were not able to participate in the very first tournament, but they are ready and raring to go. They faced off against Team Black actually last week as it was first and last seed facing off against each other, and they did really well. So I'd like to see how they do against a team they probably have never played against before in Team Orange. But one player who I'm going to have to see continue to step up is Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit stepped up really well last week. He's been grinding the mechanics. He's 37 years old. He's the grandpa of the league, and he's been improving faster than some of even the very young players in this league. And let's see if he can lead his team to a victory here, or if Team Red are going to show up and get their very first series win as well. Float ends up getting a 50-50, pushes the ball forward over to Sweetener. Over to Midnight. Midnight trying to pop the ball off the backboard. It's going to be followed up here by Fahrenheit. He just wasn't able to get the touch he needed to, and it's going to be taken over by Float now as Ryan will clear the ball away. Midnight Sky taking possession, pushes the ball forward, looking for the 50-50 with Steel. Float off the ceiling, will clear the ball down the field. Looking for the follow-up. Float once again, and it's going to be taken away by Steel. This game is not as fast as the other two games we've seen for tonight. However, we do see a lot of control, a lot of possession between these two teams, as both of these teams do not want to be caught in a situation where they've never won a series win. Of course, we saw Team Red. They didn't play in the very first tournament. But Team Orange, they played in the very first tournament, they just weren't able to get a win. They played in round one last week, weren't able to get a win. So maybe this week they can get their first ever game win and series win playing off against Team Red. Here comes Ryan. We'll look for the 50-50 with Midnight Sky. It's going to be over to Steel. Steel pops the ball up. It's going to be over to Midnight Sky once again. And it's going to be over to Sweet to put the ball away now. Fahrenheit taking control. Mechanically, he's been improving so much. Look at that flick. Gets it around one. Looking for the shot. Oh my goodness. Almost puts it top right corner right now. Fahrenheit is stepping up. Remember, in week number 1, Fahrenheit, I don't believe he touched the ball a single time. Week 2, he was losing 50-50s, trying to set up his teammates, and now he's not just losing 50-50s when he needs to, he's going for beats when he knows he can do it. And with a bad touch there from Team Red, Team Orange are stepping up when it matters most. Is that 50-50 going to roll in? No, it's going to go off the 4th man, and Team Red are going to live to survive another day as it's still tied at 0-0. Float, clearing the ball off the side wall. It's going to be followed up here by Midnight Sky. Over to Float. Float isn't able to get back to the ball, and Midnight Sky will keep the ball on offense once again. Fahrenheit with the fake, now looking for a pass out mid. Ends up leaving it for his teammate Float. Float pops the ball off the backboard. Follow up here from Fahrenheit. Can he put it in? No, but he does touch the ball. Oh my, right now, Fahrenheit, he's looking like one of the most improved players in Havoc Esports right now. He's been putting in the effort, putting in the grind. He's 37, he's in college, he's got kids, and yet he can still find the time to put in the grind and improve his Rocket League mechanics to make sure he can still have fun and show off to all his fans. Everybody, I'm a Fahrenheit fan. I want to see Fahrenheit fans in chat. Anybody a Fahrenheit fan in chat? Because I am. Let's see if they can continue to put on a show, but right now, Team Red really stepping up, and let's see if they can continue to play aggressive as they put the ball, as they're still stuck on their defensive half. Midnight Sky will get a beat on one, actually beats out everybody on the other teams. They were both flagpoling out mid. Not the best positional play there from Team Red, as no one was covering the 50-50, and Fahrenheit almost had an opportunity to get a goal there, but it looks like Float did not want to turn on that ball, and Midnight Sky is going to put it off the backboard to look for a follow-up. Fahrenheit gets the ball forward. Minute left on the clock, and it's still 0-0 at this moment in time. It's going to be taken over by Ryan. Ryan into the air ends up leaving it. Midnight Sky ends up getting a poor touch, but he does manage to follow it and get it past 2 people. Right now, the possession plays from Team Orange are stepping up against the more mechanical Team Red. Even though it's a very minuscule amount of improvement, Team Red do look like they're more mechanical, but just because Team Orange are taking possession, looking for those 50-50s, they're able to do way more with it, and we're still seeing a tied game. We have not really seen any shots out of Team Red at the moment, but Fahrenheit, the man who's been improving so much, gets his first goal of the game, and he's still stepping up when it matters most. Fahrenheit, look at this, puts it in the back of the net, and Team Orange about to be on the verge of their very first win. 30 seconds left on the clock. Steele will end up winning that 50-50 really strong. It's off the backboard. Ryan looks for the shot, isn't able to connect. That's going to be over to Sweetener. Puts it all over the side wall. It's going to be a double commit coming out of Team Orange, but Fahrenheit, he has possession. He's going to be looking to roll it in. Isn't able to force the ball back into the net. Now it's going to be over. It's going to be off the back wall. Followed up now by Steele. It's going to be in to leave it for Sweetener. Ryan now is going to be one task to keep possession off his own backboard. It's going to be over to Float. Float puts the ball off the side wall. Now, he followed up here from Sweetener. Now, once again, pops over into the side. Over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit ends up leaving it. In first game out of Team Orange. Very calculated, very cool. But now as we're into game number 2, let's see if they can continue with that performance. Float pushes the ball out mid, over to Midnight, and Midnight will get the first goal on the board. Team Orange, they got the confidence. Let's see if they can keep pushing it forward. Look at that. Steele just isn't able to get back to the ball. It's going to be followed up once again. He just isn't able to get back to it. Oh my goodness, chat. They are really stepping up when it matters most. Team Orange, they are hungry. They do not want to be the team known to have 0 series losses. Fahrenheit right out the kickoff was going to look for a goal, but Sweetener's going to clear the ball down the field. 1v1, looks for a shot. It's off the post. And Midnight will clear it away. Over to Ryan, and he will put the ball in the back of the net. Oh my goodness, the Team Red weren't able to score there. That would have definitely put a damper in their positivity. As, oh my goodness, they were so close and yet so far, but luckily for them, Captain Ryan puts the ball in the back of the net. And here we go. We got a tied game once again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 20 seconds off the clock, and it's still tied 1-1. Let's see which one of these teams is going to step up. If Team Orange managed to win this game, they're going to be one game win away from being able to get their first series win, and Team Red will be the ones who still have 0 series wins over 2 tournaments. Midnight Sky 50s the ball up the side wall. Steele waiting in the back of the net, has to wait for Float's shot. Float will put it over to the side wall and isn't able to get it past mid. Now over to Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky wasn't able to take possession this time after the bump from Team Red. The ball will bounce out mid. Fahrenheit was looking for a pass, but it's now going to bounce out mid to Ryan. Ryan looks for the shot, and it's going to be taken by, once again, Ryan. Look at this, the power, the placement. Ryan looks like he's warming up. Look at this here from Ryan. He puts the ball right on target. Float, even though he was in position, looks like he was out of boost, wasn't able to get the save when it matters most. And Team Orange are going to have to try and fight back this time. This is the first time we've seen them down in a series. Let's see if they can take it strong. And it looks like Fahrenheit messed up the kickoff, but ended up working in their favor as they end up getting possession right after it. Looks like Float ends up leaving the ball. Looks for a bump instead. It would have been a very solid play, but looks like Midnight Sky was not ready for that type of play. It's going to be over to Fahrenheit to try and maintain possession. Fahrenheit gets the 50-50 with one. He gets 50 with another one. But Sweetener actually wins that 50-50 really, really strongly, and it almost ends up in a situation that was poor for Team Orange. However, Team Orange still only down by 1. Are going to be looking to try and build up their offense right now, but that's going to be a double commit coming out of Team Orange. And Float now goes all the way back to net to turn around, but he still gets the save. But I'm not really a fan of Float going all the way back. Instead of just turning around early and getting a free possession, he's going all the way back to net, giving the other team a lot of free space. Fahrenheit looking for a double tap off the backboard, wasn't able to put it in, but he's getting a lot closer on these types of shots that we would never even imagine he would be able to score earlier on in the season. Ball gets launched forward over to Ryan. Ryan puts the ball off the side wall. He's going to be looking for a hit forward. Midnight Sky ends up not being able to get the touch he needs. It's going to be over to Fahrenheit, trying to maintain possession, but he ends up not staying behind the center of the mass of the ball. And this time, someone besides Ryan's going to get their first goal, and that's going to be a 3-1 lead now for Team Red. Team Red, they weren't able to score a single goal in game number 1, but now they're completely dominating the first half of game number 2. And let's see if they can keep this form up, or if Team Orange will try and fight their way back. Steele off the backboard. Follow up here by Sweetener. Follow up now by Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit looking for a pop, gets it over 1. Looking for a follow up is Float, and Float will pinch the ball in the back of the net. Someone besides Fahrenheit puts the ball in the back of the net, and who else but Float? Look at this. Fahrenheit, he flicks it over 1, and then Float, he just goes for an early challenge. Sweetener had no idea what was coming, and that's going to be a 1-goal lead now for Team Red as Team Orange are fighting back. Float pushes the ball forward, now over to Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky is going to leave it. It's going to be back over to Steele. Steele ends up getting the ball bumped away. It's going to be over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit taking control. Looking for control. Isn't able to get the flick, though, and Rin will put the ball off the side wall. Ryan Over to Midnight. Midnight looks for the long shot, and Sweetener will clear the ball over to the side wall, but Fahrenheit looking for the follow-up will end up getting beat out by Sweetener. And it's going to be up to Float, trying to take possession down the field. Float ends up not being able to get the touch he needs. It's going to be over to Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky looking for the solo play. He fakes it. Can he put the ball under? No, he is not able to. The top right corner was open, but he ends up going low, and it doesn't work out. And it's going to be over to Sweetener once again. Puts it off the side wall. Here's a follow-up from Steel. Now over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit backwards will end up trying to maintain possession. He just isn't able to get the recovery he needs. And Ryan will put the ball off the crossbar, and Fahrenheit will be the one trying to take the ball away. Fahrenheit, look at him. He's so controlled. He has a chance here. Can he get the flick? He gets the flick past once. Going to roll up the backboard. Steel's in a very awkward situation. Double commit coming out of Team Red. And Steel will try and clear the ball away once again. Now, back over to Midnight Sky. Puts the ball over to the side wall. Midnight over to the backboard once again. Follow up from Ryan. Ryan now back to Float. Float looks for the hit off the backboard and isn't able to follow it up. Sweetener now trying to maintain possession. Minute and a half left in the clock, and Team Orange still looking to fight back. Fahrenheit again with the high flick. Gets it over one. Couldn't get it past Ryan this time. But look at these flicks here from Fahrenheit. They're not something that he's doing once. He's doing it multiple times. The consistency is allowing him to really get some pressure on the offensive side. Look at this Fahrenheit. Now he looks for a 50-50 over to the sidewall to Midnight. Puts the ball out mid over to Float. Isn't able to get it back. Look at this here now. Sweetener busts the ball forward over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit trying to maintain possession. Now looking for the hit forward. Over now to Midnight Sky. Isn't able to get back to it. It's going to be over to Sweetener. Sweetener now trying to take the ball back to his other side. He does not want to give Team Orange any chances to score. And if Team Orange can't get back possession, then of course they will lose this game. Midnight Sky puts the ball over to the side wall. Fahrenheit, last man back, ends up trying to take possession. Look at here from Fahrenheit. He gets the 50-50, and it's going to be back over to Sweetener. Ryan. Over now to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit tries to turn on this ball, just isn't able to get the power slide turn in time. It's going to be with 30 seconds left on the clock, and Team Orange still down by a goal. Double commit coming out of Float and Midnight Sky, but Fahrenheit taking his time, looking to go up the sidewall. He gets a 50-50. Looking for the follow-up once again. He looks for the 50, isn't able to get back to it. It's now going to be followed up once again by Float. Float into the air, ends up missing. It's going to be a chance here for Sweetener. It's off the backboard. 10 seconds left for Team Orange to be able to tie this game. Can they get it? Float gets a last-second save. Fahrenheit, he ends up getting out 50. It's going to be over to Float. The ball touches the ground. The game is over. Can they keep it up? Ball still in the air. Float looking for the touch. It's going to be over to Sweetener. Can Midnight Sky keep it in the air? No, he is not. Ends up going back. Game. Here we go. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see who's going to be the ones to go to match point first. Now, ball bounces off mid over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit tries to look for a pass back to Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky will get the ball past two, but is he able to get the pass three? He looks for a 50-50, but Steel will clear the ball away. Now back over to Float. Float back to Steel. Steel looking for the follow-up. It's going to be back over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit now trying to maintain possession. Looks for a pass mid. Maybe he isn't able to get back to the ball. It's going to be over to Sweetener, who looks for a pass mid himself. However, it's going to be a giveaway possession, and Float going to be looking trying to maintain possession. We'll get the ball past two. Ryan tries to take possession, but it's going to be over to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit off the pass from Midnight Sky will look for a banging shot, but he just wasn't able to put the ball above the defenders. Over to Steel. Steel looks for a shot himself. Float will get the touch, although it was not the best touch. It's going to be up to Fahrenheit to try and maintain possession. Ryan pushes the ball forward over to Midnight Sky. It's going to be followed up now once again. Looks like Fahrenheit looking for the demo. Midnight Sky looking for the 50-50. And Fahrenheit, the man himself, but gets the demo, looks for the bump, scares the goalie away, and Midnight Sky just had to force the ball in the back of the net. Now that is a team play we like to see out of Team Orange. We did not really see it out of Team Orange in the last game. However, now we're seeing them step up when it matters most, trying to get to that match point. Fahrenheit, he wants a win in his name. He wants to show that he can get to the round three. And it looks like it's going to be put in the back of the net, and Midnight Sky is going to get his second goal of the game. Four minutes left on the clock. 2-0 right now for Team Orange. Team Orange pulling off right where they came back in the last game, and they're starting to put the ball in the back of the net. Team Red are now going to have to go back to the drawing board. So, chat, here's where I ask you, what do you guys think Team Red are going to have to do to start going against this offensive pressure from Team Orange? It just looks like Team Orange, even though they don't look as mechanical as Team Red, just by their smarts and decision. Look, Midnight Sky, he knows. He just has to wait. He doesn't have to push forward. All he has to do is sit there, and they will come to him, and his team will maintain possession. Look, just by Midnight Sky taking his time, losing a 50-50 to Fahrenheit, and Fahrenheit was able to solo play the ball up the field. he was able to do so much. So Team Red, they're going to try and find some other way to get the ball on the offensive half and try to do something with it, because right now, Team Orange are just taking possession, because even when they get challenged, they can just lose the 50-50 to their teammate. Team Orange have everything covered. They're playing like a very high-level team right now, and if Team Orange continue to improve their mechanics, who knows how good they'll be by maybe not the end of this split, but maybe by the end of the season. However, Ryan is going to shut me up and put another goal in the back of the net to bring it back within one. Look as they're here from Ryan. Solo play, gets it around one, puts it around two, and again, he's stepping up when it matters most. This is what we want to continue seeing from Ryan and the rest of his squad. However, Team Orange, after a delayed kickoff from Fahrenheit, will put it in the back of the net. You have to wonder if this is calculated. We saw Fahrenheit in the last game do something very similar and almost get possession off of it, but he does it here again. Fahrenheit putting it in the back of the net. Now, there's only one other player in Havoc history who has ever really done something special in regards to kickoff. Normally see everybody doing diagonal flips, speed flips on the kickoff. There's one person in Havoc history. He's not on a Havoc team at the moment, but he's played before. His name is Tim the Bull. He has gotten one game away from Supersonic Legend, and he has never done a speed flip on a kickoff. All he does is drive forward and flip the end. He doesn't even flip to the ball. So maybe there's something that's showing up here in Team Orange, as Fahrenheit managed to find a goal off the kickoff from that matter of fact. But now it's going to be 4-1, 3 minutes left on the clock, and Team Orange have completely stepped up. In game number 1, it was 0-0 until the last 20 seconds. Game number 2, they fought back. They only lost by 1 goal. But now in game number 3, Team Orange stepping up strong. Fahrenheit puts the ball off the backboard. It's going to be followed up here by Midnight Sky as he gets a hat trick. Midnight Sky with his first hat trick in Academy history. Look at this here from Midnight Sky, putting the ball in the back of the net after Fahrenheit again looks for the demo. This is the chemistry we want to see out of Team Orange. There we go. Fahrenheit, he loses the 50 to Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky takes possession, and Fahrenheit looks for the demo. This is very high-level strategy right now. If you guys look at pro-level teams, they're going to be doing the exact same thing. They're just maybe a little bit faster and mechanical than Team Orange. However, they're still looking strong, and they're playing to the best of their ability. Here we go. Here comes Sweetener over to the side wall. Float ends up leaving it for Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit trying to take possession, goes off the side wall. He ends up trying to play it slow, and he sets up Float. Float getting his second goal of the game. Fahrenheit is setting up this team every single place on the field. And remember, everybody, no one was expecting Team Orange to come in this series to win it. We saw Team Red, they played really, really well against their sister team from that college, and we thought they were going to go into this next round and win. But right now, Team Orange is about to go on match point, and not only that, they're about to go on match point with game number 3, being 6-1 with 2 minutes left, and there we go, 6-2. Team Red do manage to get another goal on the board, but 2 minutes left, 4 goals is still a massive task, especially for threes. Even if this is Academy, defense is not as strong as it used to, as other teams are in the main league, for example. But here we go. 2 minutes left on the clock. The teams are continuing to remain strong. Ball back over to Float. Float ends up popping the ball down the field. Ryan isn't able to get the touch, though. It's going to cause a double commit out of the half of Team Orange. Fahrenheit will pop the ball into the sky. It's going to be over to Steel. Steel isn't able to get the touch, and Midnight Sky himself will put the ball off the backboard, looking for a slow play. Ends up leaving it for Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit looks for the shots off the backboard. Follow up here from Float, and he puts it in the back of the net. Not only has Midnight Sky gotten his first hat trick in his first time in Havoc, but it's also going to be Float getting his first hat trick in Havoc, and it's going to be Fahrenheit with the playmaker. Oh my goodness, this team is looking strong. And again, it's showing us right now that you don't need a carry. You don't need someone carrying. Just by team rotation, just by rotations and solid, smart play alone, you can keep it close against a more mechanical team. We've seen this from Team Red. Team Red look faster. They look more mechanical, as we see Ryan putting aerial shots on target. But when it comes to just taking possession and playing like a team, that's what Team Orange are doing right now, and they're now up 7-2. One goal away from getting a Barca. Fahrenheit trying to set up his team once again, looking for his 4th assist on the board, and he will get a 4th assist as Float will get his 4th goal. Barca on the board, 1 minute left on the clock, and that's still, oh my goodness, Team Orange, they went from game number 1, winning by 1 goal in the last 20 seconds. Then you got game number 2, where they ended up losing by a goal. Then game number 3, with a minute left on the clock, Team Orange are up by 6 goals. This is not something that any of us were expecting from both of these teams. Both these teams, they're, I believe, rank-wise, they're around the same. I believe Team Red are maybe a little bit higher in rank, but Team Orange, they're stepping up when it matters most. And if they can, after they solidify the win in this match, they only have to win 1 out of the next 2 matches just to be able to go on to round number 3. We do have to remember Team Orange, they got eliminated early on in the last tournament, but if Team Orange managed to win this game, they're going to put themselves in a very good spot standings-wise, and they might be able to avoid some of the best teams going into the third tournament seeding-wise, which might allow them to, if they continue improving at the rapid rate that they are right now, that might allow them to really push forward, maybe to see if they can sneak into a top 4 spot. If they can keep improving. Team Purple and Team Aqua are definitely going to have to worry out for Team Orange, as Team Orange, they're improving at a very massive rate. Ryan clears the ball down the field. It's going to be over to Sweetnerd. Sweetnerd and Ryan end up not being able to get the touch they need, and Float will take possession. Now back over to Midnight Sky. It's going to be taken over by Sweetnerd, but now the ball will touch the ground.